Well, hello. Today is the fourth movie in the Star Trek series, Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. Kirk and the crew of Enterprise are in exile on Vulcan. They decide to go to Starfleet and face trial for their actions. Only the Earth is under attack by a mysterious cylindrical ship. The Federation is powerless. Spock concludes the probe is broadcasting sounds that the hunchback whale made. Only the whale is now extinct. So they go back in time to 1986 to retrieve the whales. Kirk and Spock find two whales at an aquarium. Scotty and McCoy manage to get a tank made for the whales. Chekhov and Uhura steal power from the reactor of the aircraft carrier Enterprise. Chekhov was captured and injured while trying to escape. They have to rescue Chekhov from the hospital. Then they go with the help of a marine biologist from the 20th century tagging along to rescue the whales from a whaler. They make it back to the 23rd century in time to release the whales. The alien probe then leaves after communicating with the whales. The Enterprise crew stand in judgment before the Federation Council, and all charges dropped except one. Kirk is found guilty of disobeying orders and reduced to the rank of captain. The crew get assigned to a newly rebuilt Enterprise. So this is the fourth movie in the Star Trek series that the original crew did. The first three were quite successful, and they made a fourth one. And originally, William Shatner was not really interested in doing one, but 2.5 million salary and the promise to direct the next movie apparently won him over. And yeah, so this is like it's pretty much like a trilogy with the second, the third, and the fourth movies are all kind of interconnected, and they fit pretty good together. And for this one, they wanted to make it a much more lighthearted movie with no clear-cut villain, and they did succeed with that because there's no Klingons or Romulans or Khan or that. It's this kind of alien whale probe. And it's really not even treated evil, just like the first movie. It's just kind of like a force of nature that they somehow have to figure out how to overcome. And they also wanted to do a time travel movie where, they went back in time to retrieve something that was needed for the 23rd century. And they were looking at stuff with, the rainforest and that, and, saving this nasty plague or something, but they thought that was just a little too dark for the lighthearted movie they wanted. And Leonard Nimoy, who directed this one, also was reading about the whales, and they decided to use the humpback whales, which were and maybe still are endangered. And so it's very much a movie with an environmental message about not killing whales, and who doesn't love whales. And also they wanted to have Eddie Murphy in this movie because he at the time he was a very popular up and coming star, and he did show some interest, but he didn't like the script. It had him as a kind of professor that believed in aliens and listened to whale songs. So they instead decided to use Catherine Hicks as the main 20th century, expert to help him. And this what can I say? It was also shown first Star Trek movie shown in the Soviet Union at the time, and the audience really responded to a line McCoy said at the ending of the movie that said, "The bureaucratic mentality is the only constant in the universe." That got a lot of applause, and I guess that kind of foreshadowed what was to come for the Soviet Union. The movie was a huge success, on a 25 million budget. It made over 133 million. And it also got some 4 Oscar nominations in the technical categories. It didn't win anything, but it also won some other awards in that. And at the end, it also had the dedication to the Challenger crew because the Challenger disaster was very recent at that time. And so, also apparently, because, these movies were getting a bit expensive with, the actors' rising salaries and that, they decided they wanted to make some money off Star Trek cheaper, and that's when they also decided to do the Star Trek The Next Generation series, where they could, hire basically all unknown actors that would work for cheap. And that, of course, went on to be very successful, and then when they probably did the movies, they found out that these actors were probably had a nice high salary too they were wanting. So this, obviously, Star Trek was a big success. I think this is a good movie. It's very enjoyable. It still holds up, even though it's getting old. And I love that it's a bit of a satire on the current society, which there's still stuff going on even now. Like one of the funniest scenes was on the bus where this punk rocker was being annoying and listening to his music with the boombox, and Spock reaches over, gives him the Vulcan pinch, and he just falls down, and the boombox shuts down, and everybody starts clapping. Sadly, I think we don't use boomboxes anymore, much more smaller devices and that, but there's still a lot of rude people who use their devices in public without any concern. And, the swearing, that's, that's probably still something too. Yeah, and it's a great movie. I enjoyed it at the time it came out. I thought it was funny. It was, like I say, it was very lighthearted. And it's a very strong entry in the Star Trek franchise, and I think you'd enjoy it. So, if you stuck with me this long, I thank you. You're a unique individual.